The classes are in. Oregon and Oregon State add to their recruiting haul. Find out where they both sit at the end of National Signing Day. And a program-defining win for Oregon hoops. Why Kelly Graves said they're already moving on from last night's victory. But why Coach Graves won't be with the team the rest of the week. Plus a sneaker collection you have to see to believe. It's Oregon Sports Report on Oregon's Fox, starting right now.
Hello and welcome into this Wednesday Hump Day edition of Oregon Sports Report. I'm Brandon Kammerman, bringing you 30 minutes of sports coverage. Today was early National Signing Day. It's becoming more and more like the regular signing day, a chance for some of the top high school recruits in the country to make their decisions official on where they will play college football next year. Ducks head coach Mario Cristobal said he went to bed at 1:08 a.m. this morning and woke up at 2:45. It's not a lot of sleep. Gives you just a glimpse into how much work he and the rest of the Oregon staff put into this 2019 signing class. Five-star defensive lineman Kayvon Thibodeau, ranked by many as the top prospect in the nation. He is now officially a Duck. But there's way more to this class than just Thibodeau. 22 signees in all, 11 four-star recruits, 10 three-star. Without a doubt, the best signing class in the history of Oregon football.
Certainly a big step forward. It's something that we want to and need to get used to. We need to continue this, that 1/3, that part of rebuilding a successful program, which is talent acquisition, which is evaluating, recruiting, and signing the top prospects in the country. And we all feel like we took a really big step in that direction today.
So here's a look at that historic recruiting class for the Ducks. Ducks getting bigger on the offensive line. They add 6'7", 345-pound Maleasala Amavai La'aulu, who's ranked as the 4th best lineman in the country. Ducks also getting big in the secondary by adding 6'3" DB Trequezy Bridges. Eugene native Patrick Herbert will follow the footsteps of his older brother Justin. The tight end from Sheldon is now officially a Duck. Cristobal said they did not take Herbert's situation for granted. His staff went all in on recruiting the 4-star 225-pound tight end. Oregon got some depth at the quarterback position as well. Cale Millen is ranked as the number 24 quarterback in the country from Snoqualmie, Washington. Of course, we already know the Ducks won the jackpot by getting the number 1 player in the country and defensive end pass rushing specialist Kayvon Thibodeau. But on offense, the Ducks got some top players who can catch the ball. It includes 3-star wideout Jerome Waters and 4-star prospect Lane Wilhoit. Finally, Javon Wilson is the only athlete in the Ducks 2019 class so far. He's from Valencia, California. He could play running back for the Ducks. Michael Wright is a 3-star defensive back from Lancaster, California. Meanwhile, up in Corvallis, head coach Jonathan Smith and his staff is monitoring their incoming recruits. Oregon State has 19 players signed and still anticipate a few more before February signing day. Here's Coach Smith on his 2019 class so far.
We kind of wanted to, big picture-wise, build this roster for long-term success. And we thought it was going to be important to be, creative as we looked at adding to the roster. And you're going to see that in the signees there, the mix of the ages from high school to junior college to some transfers. Did feel a whole lot better in regards to just knowing our roster in our second time doing this thing.
All right, so let's break down the Beavers 2019 class. Getting some depth on the D-line, they add 310-pound tackle Evan Bennett from Santa Ana, California. Ryan Frankie's a 2-star defensive end from Powerhouse Oaks Christian High in California. Smith getting some talent on offense as well. He picks up a pair of 4-star prospects in quarterback Tristan Gebbia and wideout Tyjon Lindsey. Lindsey and Gebbia both started at Nebraska but decided to transfer to Oregon State during the fall. Beavers got another 4-star prospect on defense. Avery Roberts is a 6'1", 230-pound linebacker, also a transfer from Nebraska, going big in Cornhusker Nation. Winston Russell and Simone Sandberg are a pair of 3-star prospects who will serve on defense as well for the Beavers. Get this, Sandberg is from Sweden. Beavers were also able to lock up Corvallis native Omar Spates, a 4-star defensive end. He may be the best player in this class. Well, here's how the Pac-12 stacked up in the national recruiting rankings, this according to Rivals.com. The Ducks had the best recruiting class in the conference, cracking the top 10 at number 7. Rival Washington had the second best class in the conference, Huskies pulling a top 15 at National Hall. And probably the biggest shocker in this conference was how far USC falls in the rankings. Trojans with the 24th best class in the country. The Beavers finished second to last in the conference, ranked 72nd according to Rivals. Well, recruiting's paid off for Oregon women's basketball. The Ducks picked up their biggest win of the season on Tuesday, an 8-point victory over previously unbeaten Mississippi State at home. Pac-12 plays just a couple weeks away, but there's no question a win over a top 5 team is huge for this program.
Obviously, it helps. I mean, that's a quality win against a great team that's going to be a 1 or a 2 seed ultimately, odds-on favorite to win the SEC. So sure, but the reality is, we'll forget about it, move on to the next one.
Except Graves will not be at the next game. The team announced the Ducks head coach will sit out tomorrow and Friday's games. He was suspended a couple weeks ago as part of the investigation into Oregon's NCAA rules violations. He was appealing, but will now drop that appeal and serve his 2-game suspension, starting with Air Force on Thursday and UC Irvine on Friday. Oregon State's also wrapping up its non-conference schedule, a Thursday contest with Duke and then Cal State Bakersfield late next week. Beavers suffered their second loss of the season, a 6-point defeat to Texas A&M in Hawaii. The Beavers went down 24-14 in the first quarter of that game, and head coach Scott Ruick said his team learned a valuable lesson in the loss.
Maybe we didn't recognize, what being a top 10 team, what that does to your opponent. I think we should have known that already, but we've got to be on our A game every night. And so, it's a humbling lesson, but a very valuable one, moving forward.
People are gunning for us. We kind of have a target on our chest. So just everyone's going to give us their best game, and that's something we have to be ready for every time we step on the floor, that they're coming hard for us.
Tip-off against Duke is 7 p.m. at Gill Coliseum. The OSU men are home for Kent State on Friday, possibly the Beavers' last game without senior center Grigoriy Rakorcevic. He's been out with a foot injury most of the non-conference, but he could be back next week. The result, a Beavers team that sits at 7-3 and is still trying to find some consistency.
Can't do anything about that. We've just got to continue to learn from what's cost us and improve so that when we get to conference play, we feel like we're battle tested and ready to go.
We're all starting to realize each other's strengths and weaknesses and where we're going to get contributions in certain areas from the new guys and the old guys, noticing that and working together well with that and complementing each other well with our strengths.
Friday tip at Gill is at noon. After a 4-game home stretch, the Oregon men's basketball team will now hit the road. Ducks will play at Baylor this Friday. 2 of Oregon's 3 losses on the season have come on the road. Dana Altman and his squad will be in for quite the challenge. Altman has not given a specific timetable on when freshman star Bol will return to action. Bol is dealing with a foot injury. Ducks are also without another talented player in sophomore forward Abu Kijab. After yesterday's win against Florida A&M, Altman was asked how much he'll have to adjust the rotation with Abu out.
I don't know. I think it'll be game to game. We've got to get Ehab going a little bit, and but we are a little limited there. So Lou's continuing to come on and play a few more minutes. We've got to get him going a little bit. So it's all of the guys got to pick it up a little bit.
4 p.m. tip-off Friday afternoon in Texas. You can watch it on ESPN2. We've heard the expression walk a mile in his shoes. When it comes to Portland State basketball star Holland Boo Boo Woods, the phrase might be play a game in his shoes. Joe Becker from our Portland sister station caught up with Boo Boo about his epic shoe collection.
It's basketball practice at Portland State, and Vikings team captain Holland Boo Boo Woods is wearing black tennis shoes.
Those are about as mellow as it gets. Usually there's some sort of, flourish color on there, but today was pretty mellow.
Yes, Woods is known for his basketball shoes, and he has a whole lot of them.
Probably about 20, 30 pairs.
And how do you decide which one to wear?
I kind of ask my friends, go on my Instagram sometimes, post a couple pairs and let them vote and just have fun with it that way.
Lots of shoes and lots of colors, including Kyrie Irving's of the Boston Celtics.
Kyrie's always been my favorite player, so I've always grown up wearing those. I played in the Nike YBL, and I met him a couple times, like, playing there, so, like, he gave me one pair one time, so, like, ever since then, like, I've been with him in his shoes since then.
And Kyrie has the cereal pack now with Kix, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and Lucky Charms.
Yeah, I just got the other ones, the Lucky Charms pair. I wore them against BYU, and they ripped, so I got to get them fixed right now, but they'll be back soon.
Do you have a favorite pair that he's worn?
No, I tell him I don't like any of them, so I don't like any of them. But I don't want him to get soft on me, so I try to be hard on him.
In the game with Loyola Marymount, Woods wore 2 different pairs.
In the first half, I slipped like 3 times, so I got irritated. Got a little irritated with one pair, so I had to switch into another one.
No matter what style or color, one thing that is consistent is Boo Boo's play on the court.
He's a good kid. He's a great representative of our program, a guy that, day in and day out does things right, and he continues to grow and get better and better.
Gotta get me one of those Cinnamon Toast Crunch pairs. Here on Oregon Sports Report, we want to remind you to try to exercise every single day. Here we have the Thurston Upper Class boys playing against Shelton in the Kids Sports Preseason Jamboree. It was a highly competitive game, and these kids have a ton of fun playing together and staying positive. And staying active is one of the best ways to stay healthy, so get out and play, people. Next on Oregon Sports Report, the Portland Trailblazers going for their 3rd straight win tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies. And a huge battle on the ice between Sid the Kid and Ovi. We'll have that Penguins Caps recap next.